Hello, everyone. I'm Kyle Goodrich, the president and founder of TCarta, and thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to the SAIHC this year. I really enjoyed last year being in person in Mauritius, and hope to be able to attend next year in person. I hope you're enjoying the time in Kenya and the shores of Lake Victoria. I wanted to speak today just a bit about TCarta and our technology. TCarta is a small business based in the United States that specializes in deriving water depths from satellite imagery. We're a small business that my wife and I own and operate, but it's really about the team and the skilled experts and subject matter experts that we have on our team that are diverse, highly skilled, and quite talented and passionate about mapping the seafloor from space. Doing this is a very challenging technology and requires a very multidisciplinary approach, and we have a diverse and talented staff to do so. Our core technologies are really deriving bathymetric and hydrographic information from satellite imagery. But it really is about the people and the talents and skills to be able to do that work that I really want to speak about today. I'm going to present a little bit about some work that we've done in the African Great Lakes with mapping from satellite imagery, but then really speak today about our workshops that we've engaged with the hydrographic community to instruct and teach this technology to stakeholders and hydrographers around the world. So a bit about the African Great Lakes. It is some very large and remote lakes, largely unsurveyed, and at first glance they might seem not that conducive to satellite derived bathymetry because of their water clarity. But with the emerging technologies and techniques that TCarta has developed, we've been able to survey the entire coastal area of both Lake Tanganyika and Lake Malawi and Lake Nyasa. So here's a couple of examples. It's a little bit hard to see because of the way that the lakes drop off and get quite deep, but you can see in the kind of rainbow colored image on the side of the shore, we were able to map the entire kind of ring around the edge of Lake Tanganyika from the 0 meter line to out to about 13 meter depths, maximum depths in some locations. Obviously, this is a challenging area to map with boats or aircraft. So this is an interesting way to potentially map these coastal areas, provide more information of the coastal environment of these lakes. Lake Malawi is actually a little bit more conducive because there's a little bit more wider area of shallow water. You can see here in the colored area that we were able to map out to about 13.5 meters around the entire lake. This is using Sentinel-2 satellite imagery. So this is freely available satellite imagery at 10-meter resolution. So every 10-meter pixel has a water depth that we've derived from several hundreds of images stacked together to produce a seamless bathymetry data set of the coastal environment. And then you can see in Lakoma Island, we actually produced it at 2-meter resolution because there was high resolution imagery available over there. So I was kind of surprised, quite honestly, that how well this technique worked in the African Great Lakes, and kind of quite exciting to see this technique provide bathymetric information where there was none previously. But today I really want to talk about the Satellite Derived Bathymetry Workshops that TCarta has conducted this year in partnership with both ESRI as well as Seabed 2030. We have been engaging with the hydrographic community in a very mindful and way to empower these communities with this technology so that you can essentially map your own coastal waters. So we have conducted several workshops this year in several places around the world, and I'm going to share some stories with you of how this has gone. So back in February, the TCarta team deployed to Jamaica with the National Land Agency there. We've had a long-standing collaboration partnership with over the past few years to engage with them to teach them how satellite-derived bathymetry technologies can help their hydrographic surveying goals. So in February, 3 of our TCartans arrived at the National Land Agency office with one woman who is based in Jamaica joined us. And we instructed over 5 days this group of Jamaican hydrographers all the basics of satellite-derived bathymetry. Using their own equipment, their own satellite imagery, we were able to map large extensive areas of the Jamaican coastline in partnership. So after 5 days of being in the office, the team surveyed, as you can see here on the left, the entire coastal and shallow water area of Jamaica including all of the offshore banks and reefs. And you can see this large reef here at Pedro Bank, just south of Jamaica, which was largely unsurveyed, and now it is surveyed by Jamaicans in Jamaica using satellite imagery, which is quite exciting to me because it's to see this technology in the hands of people that really need it the most. Our next collaboration project that we conducted was in the summer, where we worked with the Dominican Republic Navy and deployed our team down to the naval base in Santo Domingo for a week of training. This was also in partnership with ESRI and the Seabed 2030 effort to inform and instruct the Dominican Republic Navy on how to map their waters using satellite imagery. So again, over the course of about a week, our team met and instructed in their local language. So we provided instruction in Spanish in this case to 5 naval officers in the Dominican Republic Navy, so they could understand how to produce satellite-derived bathymetry to help their hydrographic operations. So they can now use satellite-derived bathymetry and produce a bathymetric product of coastal areas ahead of a bathymetric survey that they might be conducting to improve the safety and planning of that marine survey. This, as you can see in the lower left there, actually the local news picked us up and came in and actually did a little spot on the local television news on this project. So it's kind of fun to go down there and see them learn how to use this technology and deploy it within their own capabilities and operations. So you can see here, this is also part of our effort. All of this data was contributed to the Seabed 2030. That is a global effort to map the entirety of the seafloor by 2030. And so this is a very exciting and strategic way that countries can contribute to Seabed 2030 of their coastal areas by conducting these Seabed 2030 workshops in partnership with TCarta. So we go down and instruct people how to produce the data, and then they're able to produce the data and then contribute that to this global mapping effort, which is quite exciting. So then the country gets to be able to retain this data at full resolution, at 10-meter resolution, so they can use it as a national asset. And then they contribute the data at a lower resolution, which meets Seabed 2030's needs at 100-meter resolution. So they are contributing to this global effort, but then also retaining this important information as a national asset for their own operations. Furthermore, in both the past 2 summers, TCarta has engaged with Memorial University. This is a university in Canada, in Newfoundland, where we have conducted 12-week-long internship programs, also in partnership with Seabed 2030, where students have a work term requirement for their graduation credits, and the TCarta Satellite Derived Bathymetry summer internship fulfills that work term. So these students are learning satellite-derived bathymetry and earning credits at their school, as well as being paid as professionals to do this work while they're learning in their studies. So TCarta has conducted these internship programs over the past 2 summers, and I mentioned 12-week-long programs, so the students are able to really dive deep into this technology and become subject matter experts themselves to some degree over the course of 12 weeks. This effort has been coordinated with the Seabed 2030 project, so that we are mapping areas that are of need to the Seabed 2030 community. And so all of the data that the students are contributing, are producing, is being contributed to the Seabed 2030 project. As you can see here, last summer we actually completed Madagascar, which is obviously in the SAIHC region. We mapped the entire coast of Madagascar for the Seabed 2030, and this data is now part of the Seabed GEBCO grid. And we're also happy to share this data with the Madagascar government. If you'd like to reach out to me, this is a data set that we are happy to share with the stakeholders in the region. So we have conducted these workshops, not quite around the world, but clustered in North America and the Caribbean, but also in Maldives, we've done a workshop. So these are, we deploy our people to do this in person, because we find that the in-person instruction is the most beneficial, though we are also doing some of these remotely just because of time and travel constraints. So there's great opportunity here that I'd like to offer to this community. to engage with satellite derived bathymetry, learn the techniques. And I obviously must note that all of these workshops, we have been able to find funding for them through creative ways, so that it's not a large expense for that country. So through philanthropic funding and other sponsorships and grant funding, we've been able to really supplement the cost of this considerably, so that this is something that these countries can take up at low or no cost to their organization. So this is a really strong professional development opportunity for these hydrographic offices, and that is something I'd like to offer to this community. You know, we would, if anyone is interested in learning more about satellite derived bathymetry, or conducting or hosting a workshop to learn for your organization, to learn about satellite derived bathymetry, please contact me. It's something that is both very fundamental and important to the philosophy of our company. Between Corey and myself, our owners, we really want to engage with the community and instruct this technology. So please reach out to me. And if you're interested, or you think your organization would be interested in learning more about this technology and how it might be useful for your organization, over about a course of a week, we can teach you the basic skills and get you stood up to be able to make satellite derived bathymetry for yourself. I've shared a link here at the bottom to the story map that explains a bit more about these workshops that we've conducted, so you can read on your own time. And feel free to contact me with any questions or thoughts about this technology. Thank you again for this opportunity to speak to this group. I hope to see you in person next year, and really enjoy the rest of the commission. Take care. Thank you very much.